Hi and welcome to another 5-minute tutorial, and this time about finding edges on a 2D texture. And if you have not seen the last session, so start with that, because the last session gave these nodes here when I showed how you can pixelate an image like this by using the snap. So start with that session, and when you have done that session, then you can come back here and continue with finding the edges. So finding the edges is really simple if you have snap. So you don't have to do much more than we already have. So if we start with this, let's say that we have a value of 1000 and divide with 1, then we just put in a very small value on the snap, so it almost looks like this photo here without pixelation. But still we have something that differs from the original, and that we can use by comparing this snap image with the original image. So all I have to do really is to copy this image. So I press Shift D and take the UV directly to this without using the snap, and then just subtract these two, and then I get information to get the edges from this image here. So if I press Shift A, go to Converter and Math, because now we don't need to use color, we can just use black and white. Then I can take the color from the top one and the color from the bottom one, and do a subtract here and drag that out, and now we get the edges here. If we don't want all these different things here and just want black and white and more clear edges, we can then use something like less than, greater than, or compare. And I will show you how that works as well, because this is the result. And all I have to do now is press Shift A again, go to Converter Math, and put in like a greater than, and if I take this down to 0.1 for instance, we get these edges here. But what you can see right now is that we only get the edges on the side where we had the shadows. So if I take that directly here, you can see we get the dark thing here, but we don't get the other side. So if we want the other side, we just have to rebuild this a little bit more by using a less than as well. So Shift D and take this to a less than. Go to a negative value. So if I take this, you can now see that we also get all the values that are in the bottom here. So then we have lines in this direction and we have lines in this direction, and all we can do now, all we have to do now, is to add those two together or just use the max here. So Shift A again, Converter Math, and put that together, and it should be no difference if we use maximum or if we use add, because it's just 0 or 1 here. So then we get edges from both sides here in a good way, which looks better than just using one side, because now we have more edges that describe our 2D texture. So this is a simple way to find edges on a 2D texture by using the snap, and the value here decides how big chunks you should take from the first image, and if you take a lower number here, it will be more pixelated, and if you take a higher, it will be more fine like this. So let's say if I take like 100 here, you can see it's almost not usable, but if I take it up to like 500, it could be used, and you then have more white in your image, and sometimes that is something that you want. Or you can take it really high up, and then you have very small differences between the original image and the snapped image, and then you get these really fine lines here. So it's up to you and the type of image that you're creating, how you would like to control it. But using snap is, I think, the fastest way to get the edges of a 2D texture. So hopefully you learned something today as well, and as usual I just say bye for now, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.